It started with a fight that led to a realization that caused me to make a decision. I was not going to drink alcohol again for the rest of my life. The event that kicked all this off happened 1,155 days ago as of the date of this recording, so I've had plenty of time to both reflect on my decision and see the effects that it's had on my life. Therefore, this video is going to be broken down into 3 parts. My personal history with alcohol, including the event that I mentioned before, my why behind the decision to stop drinking, and how this decision has actually impacted my life up until now. Before we get into any of those though, I wanted to mention that this video is not about sending out judgment to anyone out there, and I certainly do not think of myself as better than others because of this decision that I made. This is simply what was best for me. I'm no guru, I'm just another human doing my best in this thing called life. Each of us are entitled to make our own life decisions based on what we think is best for our specific situation. This is just me sharing my personal story, being open in case it's useful to anyone out there. Okay, let's get into it. I never actually drank before going off to college, mostly for lack of temptation. My parents rarely consume alcohol, and my closest friends in high school either weren't drinking often or they weren't inviting me to those events, so it was never something that I really wanted to try. But when I went to college, things definitely changed. I went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, and for those of you who don't know, our university is in the middle of a bunch of cornfields. And with that, alcohol is the basis for most of the social activities. Something that you need to know about me that adds context to this overall story is that I have what I would consider to be a pretty obsessive personality. By that, I mean whenever I get into something, I typically dive deeply very quickly and I'm known to go to extremes. For example, whenever I had a step competition with a coworker, I took 34,000 steps a day for 3 weeks simply to win that competition. Or whenever I bought a Lego set a few months ago, that spiraled into me spending literally a couple $1,000s on Legos in the following few months. And this mindset influenced the way that I drank alcohol. Especially at the start, I didn't drink casually or to enjoy the process. I drank to get drunk, and to get drunk fast. I figured that getting drunk was fun, so blacking out would be even better. Adding on to all of that, I had what I considered to be the triple threat to not need many drinks to become intoxicated. I was not that large of a human. I'm still not that large of a human, but back then I was 5'6", 135 pounds. As I mentioned before, I did not drink often, and I'm Asian. It really was a troubling time because I became a completely different person whenever I was drinking. Sure, in some respects I was more fun, but I was also more angry, less kind, rather bossy, and probably really annoying to some people. Not only that, I did some things that I'm not proud of now, and I even got into some trouble during my 4 years at school. But I figured that all of that was just par for the course. That was just how things were. Whenever I left school, I entered into an industry where people drink a lot and they drink often. There was at least one happy hour that I could attend every single week. Every work dinner seemingly had wine as a course in and of itself, and I was living within walking distance of it all in River North in Chicago. At the time, I was so uptight in the way that I lived my daily life, so having a drink or 4 really helped me to tear down those walls and to really loosen up. For those of you wondering, my drink of choice back then was a double Tito's and water with a lime. And when I loosened up, I could be quite fun. I would converse with anyone and everyone. I would sing my heart out at karaoke or dance my butt off on the dance floor. And not to pat myself on the back too much, but I was a really, really good wedding guest, always bringing that positive energy everywhere that I went. This continued for 2 years until an event happened that was a shock, and it forced me to reflect upon why I was living life the way that I was living it. At one of our team parties, one of my coworkers physically attacked 2 of our managers. Unfortunately for him, the female that he attacked, even though she was small of stature, trained regularly at a mixed martial arts gym, so he was the one that actually got the physical punishment. He was also fired the next week, and so that taught me that all it takes is one decision to completely change our lives, for better or for worse. I was just blessed that it was a relatively painless learning experience for me. That said, it caused me to ask many, many questions. The main one being, why do I drink? Even at that time, I knew that I wanted to live an authentic life. I had a lot fewer of the tools, the insights, and the frameworks that I have in my life now, but I was seeking something real. I wanted my actions to have pure intentions and for them to reflect the best possible version of myself that I knew was there somewhere on the inside. When I thought about why I was drinking and was honest with myself, I realized that it was to become a completely different person. I wanted to be more shamelessly outgoing. I wanted to have the bravery to not care about what other people thought of me. And I wanted to be able to dance as though no one was watching. But I wanted the transformation without the work. All those things that I mentioned, those are possible for me to become, but they may just not come easily. In my experience, real transformation does not come easily. My entire life, I've cared so much about the opinions of others, and that has limited over time the things that I've been able to do with my life. With every single thing that I've wanted to do, especially those that I consider to be a little more out there, I would ask this question: what will others think? That question came up whenever I would want to bring up topics for conversation that were a little bit outside the norm, like what do you think the meaning of life is, or how do you approach death? The question came up whenever I would consider asking a girl out that I liked on a date. Or it came up so many times whenever I was thinking about starting this YouTube channel. More often than not, it caused me to not take action. And I didn't want that anymore. I had been using alcohol as a crutch or as a shortcut to bypass those internal filters. But after a night of fun and drinking, the next morning, that enhanced bravery completely gone. And I was, for all intents and purposes, the exact same person. That is why I decided to stop drinking alcohol. I wanted real growth. I wanted genuine change. I wanted to know that whenever I was dancing like a fool anywhere, anytime, I had earned that because I had done the hard work of really becoming secure in my own skin and shedding that vulnerability to outside opinions. And I knew that for me, I needed to do that sober. 3 years, 3 months, and 30 days after I made that decision, I still haven't had a single drink. In that time, I have learned so much about myself. I've become secure in my own skin, caring less and less each day what other people think of me. I have become emotionally stronger than I ever thought that I could be. And I've learned to say no to most everything in life that I do not want to do. The decision has also emboldened me to be able to view my life as much more within my control compared to what I previously thought. It's given me confidence in the decisions that I make, even and maybe especially whenever they run contrary to how other people around me are living their lives. And it's allowed me to live my daily life more bravely, whether it's dancing the night away at a wedding or it's asking a girl on a date. And finally, I've learned that when I'm having fun experiencing life with my loved ones sober, my clear mind allows me to both enjoy that experience so much more fully in the present, as well as remember it way more clearly whenever I'm looking back. For that reason alone, this decision has been worthwhile. One last thing. The biggest thank you to my friends and family out there who never ever made me feel bad about this decision and who never pressured me to be somebody that I was not. I hope that you know by now, but this is just another reminder that I love you so much, and I'm so blessed to have you in my life. I honestly wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Now, if this sort of content vibes with you, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button for more so that we can continue this journey together. Either way, I'm sending you so much love, my friends. I hope that today you have the best day ever. Bye now.